As ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise. Most people know this verse by another name, the Golden Rule. Even people who don't spend much time reading Scripture have usually heard some version of it. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Simple enough, at least on paper. The challenge comes when we have to put it into practice. Because it's one thing to treat people well when they're treating us well. It's another thing entirely when they're being difficult, or rude, or selfish, or thoughtless. That's where this verse stops being a nice saying and starts becoming a real test of character. One of the interesting things about Yeshua's words here is that he doesn't say, treat people the way they treat you. That's usually our instinct. If someone is kind to us, we're kind back. If someone is generous, we're generous back. If someone is impatient, rude, or disrespectful, we're often tempted to return the favor. Human nature tends to work like a mirror. We reflect back whatever we're given. But Yeshua calls his followers to something higher. He tells us to treat people the way we would want to be treated. Notice where the standard comes from. Not their behavior, our behavior. Not their attitude, our attitude. Not what they've earned, what we ourselves would hope to receive. That's a very different way of moving through the world. I was thinking about this during a bike ride not long ago. If you've spent much time on public trails or roads, you've probably encountered all kinds of people. Some wave, some smile. Some move over and make room. Others act like they own the entire path. Now, it's easy to decide how we're going to respond based on how they're acting. If they're friendly, we're friendly. If they're rude, we're tempted to be rude right back. But imagine if every rider waited for everyone else to be courteous first. The whole trail would eventually become a mess. Somebody has to choose courtesy before it's deserved. Somebody has to decide to be considerate regardless of what everyone else is doing. That's not a bad picture of what Yeshua is teaching here. The Golden Rule isn't reactive, it's proactive. It doesn't wait for someone else to make the first move. It starts with us. And honestly, that's not always easy. There are days when people disappoint us. There are days when people misunderstand us. There are days when people say things they shouldn't say or do things they shouldn't do. The temptation is to keep score, to mentally track who deserves kindness and who doesn't. But if we're honest, none of us would want God to treat us that way. Every one of us depends on grace. Every one of us benefits from patience. Every one of us has moments when we're grateful that someone chose mercy instead of giving us exactly what we deserved. Yeshua is inviting us to extend that same kind of grace to others. Not because they've earned it, not because they'll necessarily appreciate it, but because that's the way God's kingdom operates. The truth is, small acts of kindness often have a greater impact than we realize. A patient response, a listening ear, a word of encouragement, a willingness to forgive, a little extra grace when someone is having a bad day. These things may seem small in the moment, but they have a way of changing the atmosphere around us. More importantly, they reflect the character of the one we're following. When believers live according to Luke 6, verse 31, we're showing people something about God. We're demonstrating the kind of patience, mercy, and compassion that He has shown us. So here's something worth considering today. Think about the way you'd hope people would treat you when you're struggling, when you've made a mistake, when you're discouraged, when you're carrying a burden nobody else can see. Now ask yourself whether you're offering that same grace to the people around you. Not because they always deserve it, and certainly not because they're always easy to love, but because that's exactly the kind of treatment we'd hope to receive ourselves. As you move through today, look for one opportunity to put this verse into practice. One conversation, one interaction, one moment where you can choose kindness, patience, or mercy. The golden rule isn't complicated, but if enough people actually lived it, the world would look very different. And every one of us has the opportunity to start with the next person we meet. Thank you for joining me here today, my friends, family, well, anyone else who might be listening and riding along. I hope this has been some encouragement and beneficial to everyone listening out there. I know it hit the nail right on the head with me. I was just frustrated yesterday with my fellow human beings, praying to the good Lord to change my heart. And then this verse come arriving. Funny way Lord is like that, right on time, right on His time. I hope to see you here tomorrow, and until then, I'll be willing. Shalom, shalom.